the Mishnah on Succa Lamadal Lamabez. We're going to take up the cases of also Chazazis, Niklaf, and Nikev V'chaser. All right? Halfway through the Mishnah. Go.
Also Chazazis Algo.
Stop. What does that mean?
Warts.
Okay, so warts. Okay. So Rashi says, what does Rashi say?
Chazazis can mean
Avabuos. The shchin. So the key thing to note is that what are these? It's not obviously evident in the drawing, but what are these things? They're protrusions. Okay, keep that in mind. They're protrusions. They protrude from the esrog out. Like growths on the esrog. Okay. Why is that important? You'll appreciate it later. All right, take a look at the rush real quickly. Which I know that some people read and didn't understand.
Yeah, we did, and apparently it was irrelevant.
No.
I love the rush.
Okay.
Where are we?
It's Daf Chaf Vav in this version of the Dape Rush. It's Rush Os. It's Os Tes Vav, but it's the second part of it.
You don't have to rush there.
The Rush says on also Chazazis. Okay, don't have to read the bold part. Stop biting your nails. Also Chazazis.
Where is it in the rush?
See what it says Masnisin also Chazazis in bold. Daf Chaf Vav in the Rush.
Also Chazazis Algo.
No, all right. So now read the Rush. Also Chazazis, Perish Rashi.
Okay, where is this? Oh, okay. Also Chazazis Perish Rashi Kamin Avavuos Vehu Sheyesh Ben
Mamish.
Shemekomo Nicker Bishamush.
B'mishamush. Right? Shehu Gavoa. So the Rush it basically emphasizes what I just said before. These things are protrusions. They protrude from the esrog. Okay? Yeah. So therefore, right after that, if they're protruding from the esrog, you can already argue that, how would you look at them? Just as a general, glancing at it, how would it look to you?
Lookable.
How would it look to you? If it's differentiated, what is it then? It's foreign. Okay? It's something foreign to the esrog. All right? You'll see why that's the case soon. But it's foreign to the esrog. You have an esrog, and then these protrusions grow in it. Right? I don't care what the source, if it's infection or not. These things are protruding from the esrog. Okay? So now keep going on the Rush. Yishalmi Meisik Aleh.
Nachon B'Shem Shmuel. Kol ha'psulim einam psulin el b'yom tov rishon b'vad. All psulim are only puzzle on the first.
Now I don't really
care.
Right, we don't really care about that though. That's a separate halacha about if something's possible. It's a whole different sugya. Now skip to where it says Hada Amrinan Ruvo.
Mitzad echad.
Now Ruvo mitzad echad. What does that mean literally?
More on one side.
No. Rov. It's majority. Mitzad from one side. Versus what?
Majority of the lesser.
What?
Majority of the lesser.
No. Keep going. Yesh lomar.
Yesh lomar ke gemara didan.
Gamrinan didan.
Ke gamrinan didan. Dahainu b'makom echad. Aval b'shenim u'shlosha b'komos afilu miuto puzzle.
Okay, now afilu miuto puzzle. Okay, so someone asked you before, how do I know the Havmina? We haven't read that yet. But how do I know this case is talking about Rov? Because what? Because here. Because afilu miuto is telling you that it 2 or 3 is puzzle no matter what, which would therefore imply that in the case it's kasher, what would the chiddush be? Rov. Okay, even though it's Rov. That's a very important point. Keep going.
Sorry, I don't get that. One more time.
In other words,
afilu miuto means even minority.
Yeah, meaning that in the Maskana, we know that when it comes to 2 or 3 spots, it's irrelevant how much of the esrog real estate it's occupying. At the end of the day, if it's 2 or 3, if it's more than one, okay, let's make it simple. It's more than one makom that you find chazazis, meaning divided up into a square, north, south, east, west. If there's one in north and one in west, it's puzzle. Regardless of how many there are.
So then, therefore, the Havmin is what?
The Havmin is saying, though, the Chiddush and the Havmin is saying that even though it's Rov, it would still be kosher.
Wait, but there could be more than one in one spot?
Yeah, you could have 2 in one spot, 2 in here and 2 here. But they don't comprise the majority of the esrog.
Even though, when you just read it as Rov, I understand.
No,
you don't have to read it that way.
In the Maskana.
We'll get to the Maskana. Hold on. Just continue.
How do you not read that way?
You'll see. You'll see.
I never see.
So, now keep on. So he says also, he says, V'lo shel tzad echad mifsal. Okay? So what's he rejecting?
That if you have a rove of one side.
Right. In other words, it doesn't mean what. And again, if you took the esrog, it's again. I know it's 3-dimensional, but let's assume there's a front and a back side. Okay. It doesn't mean that the rove of the front side. It means from one spot, it grows over. Do we look at? We're looking at this as our esrog model. Okay. So what does ruvo mean? Mitzad echad. It means not that. Here, the rove of this side.
You can eat that?
Right now?
No, like ever.
Yeah, I'm bringing this home.
Can you color out of it?
Sure. I don't care if it's the peel. It doesn't matter.
I have a shirt.
If, no one can see this as it's being recorded, but what it's not, okay, it's not. This isn't also Chazazis Aruva.
But that's one?
What?
One class?
Yeah. No. A bunch of them, but in one side.
In that area.
Right. What also Chazazis Ruva would mean is, again, it's continuous, okay?
I don't get what you're going to show us.
It's a continuous patch of Chazazis that covers the majority of the esrog.
Okay, what would be a discontinuous patch?
Space, enough space in between that it doesn't look like one
Okay,
area.
versus saying, oh, there's a Chazazis here, there's a Chazazis here, and there's a Chazazis here. Okay? That's Shtayim Shlosha.
Wait, so according to the Havamina, that would be called.
We don't know the Havmina yet. Hold on.
Does that equal rove?
Let's read it in the actual.
In your model, does that equal rove?
This is rove. Okay,
That's-
so I'm going to write on this.
What about the next one?
Oh, well, it's going to be rove also. Okay, this is rove. Okay, this one.
Is there any-
Do I have to draw it all out as rove? Okay, this is also
Sure. Is there anything in your book that would be discontinuous non-patch?
rove.
Wait, they're rove for different reasons, though, right?
Yeah, one's because it smells good.
Miyut. Can't believe I'm doing this. Miyut. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
They're rove for different reasons.
What do you mean they're rove for different reasons? Your esrog looks like this, which you quantify out to be 51% or more of the esrog is covered with these warts. It's considered puzzle. Okay. Back to the Mishnah.
Oh, the mission. Oh.
Yeah. All right. So just do the other also Chazazis case. Also Chazazis al
Chazazis al miuto.
kasher. All right. That would be this case. This case. All right. If you just have a little spot, if you've got a little spot of Chazazis, it's kasher. All right. Now go over to the Gemara on Lamed Lamed Hey Amabez. Okay. Also Chazazis, about 2/3 of the way down.
Also Chazazis. Amar of Christa. Davar zeh Rabbeinu Hagadol Amu Hamakum.
Yeb Ezra. Okay. Very nice introduction to the words of Yehuda Nasi. Lo Shanu.
God help him.
What? Yeah, the guy should always help him.
I think he's particularly in this sentence.
Okay, so when we say that rove, when we say that this is aser, okay, when we say this is aser, right? Excuse me, when this is puzzle, right? It's only this case that's puzzle.
It's continuous.
But if it's this case, right, 2 to 3, the Hamid would say what?
Kosher.
It's kosher, even if the 2 to 3 comprise
Rove.
rove. So again, as I explained
Where
before,
do you get that from? That it comprises rove.
you'll see it has to be the case because if it's miyutz,
Exactly.
what's the chiddush if it's?
It could be read differently.
Oh, but 1 second. But think about it. But again, just to get the rove standard straight here, okay? If it takes 21, hypothetically, 21 warts to define it, the esrog as being majority covered, right? Let's just make up a number, 21. The case of the 2 to 3 is, let's say there's 3 makomos of 7. Okay, so together, if you add them up, majority of this esrog is covered with chazazis,
Okay.
but they're separated from each other.
Oh,
So the Gemara says that the Havi is saying, again, I'm not saying why, I'm just saying factually. The fact that they're separated from each other, for whatever reason why, would make you think that that's why it's not a problem. Well, why not?
It could look like.
Okay, so Avi's right. We have to understand what's the nature of the Havmina here, okay? The Havmina knows about Menumar, right? But there's something the Havmina thought the problem was, okay? And because the Menumar won't work. The Gemara, this is, a lot of times the Havminas, okay? The Gemara wants it to be this problem, but it can't. So therefore, it goes with this way. There's something about this way that's not as...
Sorry.
Binyamin, back to the Gemara. So the Gemara says, so this is the 2 to 3 case would be kosher. Now the Gemara says, no, it can't be. Amalei Rava.
Amalei Rava Adarabba.
Adarabba, it's the opposite. Why? Kim Menumar. Upasal. Now what's Menumar mean? Right? So if you, I'll read it real quickly. The Rashi and Lama Gimel Vez, and dealing with the case of the Hadas. Same halacha by the Hadas. The hadas, if it has 2 or 3 spots on it, all right, it's considered menumar. What's menumar? So Rashi says, the lav hiderhu, which is the most important thing in the sugya. This problem of chazazis is not a problem in it's not a problem in the chefsa. It's not that there's something wrong with the esrog.
How did you know that?
It's a problem in hidur. Okay, because menumar is a problem in hidur, and therefore you can apply that backwards.
How did you know that?
Now listen to what Rashi says. Sharei ha'anovim shechuros, or shechoros, v'ha'alan yerukin. What's the problem of menumar in the case of the hadas?
Color contrast.
Color contrast, okay? You're going to look at it, and you're going to see black and green. Anovim black, leaves green, okay? Why is that a problem? We don't know yet. Back to the Gemara. So since we know menumar is a problem, and this certainly smacks of menumar, right? So how do you read Rabbi Yehuda Nasi's statement? So keep going. Ella.
Eli Edmar, Seifa Edmar.
So it's not talking about when Chazazis, it's not talking about this case, right? Rather, it's talking about this case, the miyut case, okay? And therefore, what is it? Well, how much do you learn the Gemara or the Mishnah?
Mal miyuto kosher. Amar Chisda. Doris ever been on Gadol Amr Hamakum Yebezo. Lo Shanu Ella B'Makom Echad.
Kimenumar, so it's like menumar, the puzzle, okay. And what? Okay, one second. No, don't read the last line yet. Okay. So what's the maskana? What's the maskana of the Gemara?
By the case of muto, if it only in one spot is it kosher. If it's in more than one spot, even if it's still miyut, then it's puzzle.
And if it's majority in one spot, it's puzzle as well.
Yeah, everything is puzzle except if it's minority only in one spot.
Right, so we have 3 cases, right? You have minority, 1 makom, you have majority, 1 makom, and you have 2 to 3 areas. Okay?
Majority.
What?
Minority, majority.
And 2 to 3?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Even if minority.
Oh.
It's the presence of 2 to 3 that's the problem. Okay? Okay. So now, let's start methodology. Okay? How do you approach such an area? That's the real question. How do you approach this?
I'll tell you from the Torah's perspective.
Easy step to take is that, okay, whatever the problem is, when I look at that esrog, what do I see? It's majority.
Rove black.
It's rove chazazis, okay? And therefore, that's going to be a problem in Hidur, right? Because when I look at the thing, what do I see? I see a majority of chazazis, okay?
No, but what's the problem seeing?
What you have to ask is, this is pasha, okay? This is the part that's going to be very difficult to define. This is pasha. This is saying, well, it's very simple. If the majority of the esrog is covered by something else, what do you see now?
There's something else.
That's something else, right? So the problem is, where the problem emerges from what?
No, that's not true.
It's all one area.
What is the problem? The psul emerges from what? Not from the one area. What's the psul emerge from? What?
What appears like the guy?
But when we say it appears, what are we talking about in the realm of appears?
That sounds like chefsa though.
No, it's not chefsa because it didn't hidur.
I know.
It appears okay, but how does it? What feature of it allows it to appear like it is? What feature does the Havmina care about? That's what. There's one part of it. It's give it what?
What the person sees.
We know that already.
Only 2 categories.
Rove is the problem.
What?
Okay, rove meaning if when I look at it and when it appears to me, it appears as its majority chazazis, it's puzzle. So if rove is the defining factor, even if this was rove, how does it appear though? Even though it is quantitatively rove, how does it appear? Does it appear as rove? So it's the appearance of rove that determines the nature of the psul. The psul emerges from the appearance of rove. First of all, that's a raya why it's a din in Hidur, because there was a din in the Chatza, then this will be puzzle also, right? In the Havamina. But no one says that in the Havamina. So why is this kasher and this is puzzle? Because it's a question of whether... What? So it's like this. In other words, there's two ideas of rove, okay? One is that there's a quantity, the quantity of the esrog, right, has something, right? And the other way of rove is that it appears in a certain way.
Actually and not actually.
No, it has to appear, when it appears as rove, it has to actually have rove chazazas on it. Okay? The appearance is tied to reality in the chavsa. But in this case here, it doesn't appear as rove. It's scattered. This does not appear as rove. If you look at this thing, it would not appear as rove. It doesn't appear that way.
Side of the whole thing.
The whole thing. If I'm looking at it and I see, what do I see here? I see, oh, there's a couple spots. There's a couple spots. There's a couple spots. It doesn't appear as rove. But this, when you look at this thing, it looks like rove. So the appearance of rove is where the psul stems from. Okay? That's the first step you make. Yes. It's going to be a big struggle when it comes to hidur, not chetza. Chetza are intuitive, objective things.
I know.
Which is, listen, when it comes to hidur, so the beauty of the esrog, yeah, to what's beautiful to you may not be beautiful to me. So Chazal have to come along and figure out how to objectify beauty. That's not just a simple thing to do. So now it's saying here in the Havamina, it's saying, what would you say about the Havamina? The Havamina is going to say that, it's obvious is what the Havamina is saying, because it's targeting the Reisha. The Reisha says, Alsa Chazazis Beruvo. So it's saying, where's the psul of hidur? The psul of hidur is when the appearance of rove emerges, not the quantity of rove. Because if it was a quantitative thing, then this has to be pasul. So it's not, and this would be psul nechefsa. So it's not. To make this kosher, you must say that's rove in appearance. So this doesn't appear as rove. This does. Use a two-dimensional example. This does not appear as rove. That one does. So again, the lack of continuity at this point, the lack of continuity means at no point in time is it this esrog does not give the appearance of rove. Okay. Now, why am I so obsessed with that idea? Why? So let's understand the reason why. Let's go to the maskana.
I'm buying your idea. Can I ask audience?
The maskana of the Gemara. The maskana of the Gemara says that no, we're not talking about the case of Chazazis Beruvo. We're talking about the case of Chazazis B'miyuto, right? Which is that case. So that case is kosher. But the Gemara says this is pasul because it's like minumar, and this is also pasul. So what the Gemara wants to do now is it wants to say that both of these there's a psul hidur, and they're both problems in Chazazis, right? So they both have to share some central idea, and yet they're two different cases. Are the facts clear? You understand? Okay. Let's take a look at this esrog again. Okay. So what's the problem with this? What did you first say the problem with this was? What everyone said?
It is rove. It is
rove.
rove.
Rove of this
is rove.
Okay, it is rove. That's right. Because why is it rove?
It looks rove. It is
why is it rove? What makes it rove?
It's rove.
What?
Most of the service area is covered.
What? Most of the surface area is covered.
And continuous.
Okay.
And therefore it looks
and
rove.
continuous. Okay.
But
that places too much reliance on rove. Okay, because then you're going to run into this problem.
And not enough on what?
All right. So you'll see. So there's another way you can look at this.
Yeah.
There's another way.
One second. What step are you trying to do?
You can look at
I want to know maskana.
You can look at it.
When the Gemara first thought, when I see a rove chazazis, that's exactly the problem. Majority of this thing now looks like chazazis. But there's another way to look at it.
It's effective esrog.
It's what?
A defective esrog.
What will make it? No. I mean, we know it's defective, but what do you see though? He's saying it. You see what?
It's not that most is ugly.
What?
An esrog with chazazis.
An esrog with a chazazis. Okay? An esrog which is what you're saying. What do you mean by an esrog with a chazazis? You mean it's... So, no, and
I haven't said chazazis.
So therefore, what is it?
Orange with black.
Oh, okay. So the first thing you'd say, if you saw the majority of the chazazis, what would you conclude? It appears to be how many species? Two. Think of a red-green apple. Okay, that was the example I was using when I was learning this. Okay, imagine an apple. Imagine I took an apple and one half is red and the other half is Granny Smith. How does that apple appear to you?
Two different apples.
Two different apples. Two different minim. Yeah. Right, in one entity.
So one half is red, one half is
green.
Okay.
How would you look at it?
Fine.
Right? Okay. So the Gemara is saying that follows logic. The Gemara is saying the problem isn't that the majority is occupied by chazazis. Rather, the problem is when I look at it, what do I see? I see chazazis and I see esrog. All right. When you have the majority coming from one makom, that's what you would see. You would see, oh, look at this thing. This is a chazazis esrog. Right? It's two minim together.
Right.
Okay. That's one psul. Established that one type of psul is where the object appears to be two minim, but there's another way you can have a psul.
With.
Well, okay, so explain that.
Really esrog with some. Yeah.
Which means what?
It's silly esrog.
It's one.
What?
It's one. It's one.
What do you mean it's one?
I mean, there's nothing.
No, not a bad esrog. No, you're okay. This is chazazis and esrog.
But that's
the
problem, not a hitter problem.
It is a hitter problem. It's still a hitter problem because it looks that way to you. It looks like both.
Saying that two chefs means it's
both these. Just listen. Both of these cases look like both. Okay, but there's a difference in how your eyes relate to them as being both. This is both how.
red apple and green apple.
Right, and what's this?
Red green apple.
Red green apple, which means it's a what? It's a hybrid. Okay? In other words, the 2 to 3 problem is that when you look at it, you don't see an esrog, you see a hybrid. Like, imagine you had a red apple with lots of green spots all over it. There's a certain point when you see it, what are you going to say? You're going to say it's not, you're going to look at it not as a red apple, but it's a red-green apple.
So
that's different than saying...
It's not even maintained anymore.
Right, so that's the beautiful thing about the Succa, okay? What it's telling you is, you see why it's one psul, but it's expressing itself in 2 ways? The question is, when I look at the esrog, what do I see? All right? In this case, I see an esrog and chazazis in one entity. In this case, I see a hybrid. I see an esrog chazazis. It's like a new species. That's the way I look at it. Just same way you look at a red-green apple. If you saw a red-green apple that's chatzi, what would you say? Oh, it's both red and green. But if you saw something like this, where it's red with lots of green spots, what would you say? You'd say, oh, it's not a red apple, but you won't call it green apple either. It's a red-green apple.
What are the problems?
Oh, so that's that's the problem is that when it comes to Hidur, right, the esrog must appear like what?
Only in esrog.
As long as it's less than rov, right? Or it's located in one spot, you'll always say one thing. It's an esrog.
It's both, but you define it after all.
I agree. I'm saying you need some shear. But I'm saying, halachically speaking, when I look at this thing, halach is saying, when I look at it, what am I going to see? An esrog.
There's only one chefza and it's esrog.
And in fact, you can even, which is giving me one more point. You can even go a little bit further. Because because you can even argue like this. Another example I was giving.
It has to be only see one chefza.
I agree, but you could have a minority being chazazis.
No, but it's an esrog and stuff.
No, but how would you look at it? So I'll give you an example. Let's say you saw the Mona Lisa, okay? Just listen. Let's say you saw the Mona Lisa. Let's say I showed you another Mona Lisa where there was an orange dot in the top corner.
Exactly.
So what would you say at that point? Just one orange dot.
Mona Lisa with an orange dot on it.
No, you wouldn't say that. You would say, well, what does that mean though?
It means that there's only one chefza here, and it's Mona Lisa devoid of the orange dot, even though I've seen the orange dot.
Right, so
orange dot on top
okay, so let me explain it. In other words, what I'd say is that I look at the Mona Lisa and say, oh, there's an anomaly. There's an anomaly in the Mona Lisa. It's a Mona Lisa with an anomaly. That's this case.
Right.
You see physically, right? But it's not defining the chefza in any way.
Chazazis is with an anomaly.
What?
The top is chazazis with an anomaly.
What do you mean?
The top is the chazazis with an anomaly.
Well, no, that's not how you look at it. You look at it. No, that would be the row.
It's got to be mirror. They got to be mirror.
Why not do mirror?
He wants the duality.
The other way.
No, but they're stemming from a different source. So
I would agree.
Okay, let's be quiet. I don't have to go as far. The anomaly thing I'm just trying to throw in, I don't even need it. I'm just saying you could say that, but I don't need that, because this halakha is going to say doesn't register as anything.
And that says it doesn't register.
Sul here is the appearance of it is not as one min. Now, again, do you understand why I define it this way? There's one more time, there's 2 ways something cannot be a min. One way is that it has both properties, right? And the other one is to say that the properties merge together, and that forms a new min. But either way, that's the problem. Okay? Yaakov's making a good point. You're right. I'm trying to keep it as categorical as possible, but there is a reality, the fact that when you see warts all over the esrog, it looks ugly to you. So now when I say the 2 minim, what I really mean to say is that what does the esrog look like? It looks like ugly plus hidur. You understand what I mean? Or is it an ugly hidur? Rather than say it's an esrog and chazazis, in a purely emotional hidur way, what I'm really saying is that, what do I see in front of me? Hidur, like beautiful and ugly. You know? The Gemara has one last line. Amar Rava.
Amar Rava v'al chotmo on the chotem.
What's the chotem?
Not the pitam, the other thing. The other side. The bottom thing. Yeah,
The top slanting uplate section.
Okay, no one knows. Go on.
Which one?
Everyone's right. Amazingly so. Go. I'll talk later that in a second.
Oh, it's
I don't want to say what it is yet.
four
in maflokas, okay? The afil b'mashu. So this is the big problem. So now, whatever the chotem is, we've got a big problem, because if it's on the chotem, if you have one chazazis on the chotem, it's puzzle. That's a big problem. Now, why? Why is it puzzle? There's a universal reason why, and Rashi tells you. Okay, don't read the first. I don't care about the first Rashi of Chotmo. Look what he says. Afilu kolshu puzzle. Get ready for this. Sham. Stop. The problem of chotem, it's going to apply to all the shitas, is that when I look at an esrog, right? Okay, a normative man, my eyes are drawn to the area of the chotem. Okay, so now this is really difficult stuff. Okay, but Rashi's telling you, and everyone's going to agree with this point. Your eye, whatever that part of the chotem is, if one chazaz is on there, it's puzzle. Why? Because when I pick up an esrog, the first spot my eyes are drawn to is the chotem. But now you got a big problem. All right, what could you?